Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for Northern Ag TV. Well, the Ag Department announced the release of $1 billion in payments through the Emergency Livestock Relief Program to cover grazing losses due to drought or wildfire in the past 2 years. The USDA reported that the FSA is leveraging existing livestock forage disaster program data to streamline payment calculations and expedite relief for livestock producers. ELRP payments are automatically issued for producers who already have an approved LFP application for 2023 to 2024. Also along the lines of the USDA, the Department of Government Efficiency has reduced the number of planned government office lease terminations from nearly 750 to under 500, with USDA offices making up a significant portion of those removed. More than 70 USDA offices, including many FSA and NRCS locations, are no longer listed, suggesting lease renewals. Brad Rippey, meteorologist for the Ag Department, gave a briefing on the crops and commodities that are in drought. As expected, the Great Plains had the higher percentages with wheat, hay, and cattle inventory on the higher end, but still in better drought conditions than what we've seen the past few months.
Corn only 20% in drought, soybeans only 15%. You have to get to some of our Great Plains crops to see the higher numbers, like durum wheat. Most of that area is in drought. That's confined to a pretty small area across the northern plains. So for the most part, we're looking pretty optimistic heading into the growing season. Numbers are a little higher in some cases than we'd like to see. That would include our hay production area, 28%, our cattle inventory, 31% in the U.S. I'd like to see those numbers come down a little bit, but still better than what we have seen over the last several months.
Rippey said that we could see a ridge of high pressure forming over the northwestern U.S. that could consolidate the hot, dry weather in that area.
We do expect consistently hot conditions along and west of a line from Montana to the southern plains. Kind of draw a line at the Rockies, and it looks hotter to the west and cooler to the east. That implies we could have more of a northwesterly flow coming into the upper Midwest, but that's not necessarily a good thing in terms of rainfall because it cuts off that Gulf and Atlantic moisture from reaching up into that region.
We'll be back with the markets after this.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Talking with someone that you know is stressed out, those are difficult things to approach, but if you're good friends with those people, reach out and say, I'm here to talk to you. We can find somewhere to get some assistance. It's hard to get involved, but at the same time, you want to just say, hey, there is help available.
For more tips in dealing with stress in agriculture or for free counseling for egg producers, visit beyondtheweather.com.
Thanks for joining us back for the markets. Well, Monday was a positive day for the cattle market following a week full of chaos. The feeders seen extra support from traders and from the market's higher fed cash cattle prices and strong beef demand. Last week, live cattle were $2 to $3 higher and dressed up mostly $8. Choice boxed beef prices remained steady with last Friday right at $3.66. Packers continue to pay higher money for cattle with strong demand, and boxed beef continues to see record prices, which should continue to provide support to the market. And to wrap up May, weigh-up cows and bulls sold fully steady in St. Onge last Friday. Cows sold at mostly 161 to 182. Young cows good for feeding or rebreeding sold at 185 to 230. Quite a few pairs went through the ring as well, with heifer pairs at 3,400 to 4,000, 3 to 5s at 3,550 to 3,625. Also in St. Onge at the end of last week, there was a sheep sale. Lambs sold steady, ranging from 241 to 258, and ewes 73 to 90. The wheat market continues to find support and quality concerns. The futures board so far continues to close higher following the surprisingly low conditions rating for the U.S. spring wheat crop. However, these conditions could change as drought conditions have improved and more rain moves through the plains. According to the most recent U.S. drought monitor, in Montana and further west, drought spread further, while the Dakotas and more of the high plains had improving conditions. That's it for Northern Ag TV. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.